Mike Tyson only bit one ear. I want to bite both. I swear, that'd be sick. I might even start off the fight southpaw. Just to mess around with him, see what he's about. You might hear me singing one of my songs between the rounds and just like, no. You want to hear one of my songs? I can just make a new one. Come on, Sean. NGQ.
Dance, but I think he's an idiot though. Not in a bad way, just think he's an idiot. You know, like you can just look at someone and go, mate, you look like an idiot. And then he opens his mouth and I'm like, right, you were an idiot.
Oscar and Dana on that stage, will they get the opportunity to see that, and what do you think is gonna happen?
I have no idea, but Oscar could be a part of the event. I think it would be very funny to see him and Dana White, but no, I don't control none of that.
Yeah.
Byron, Mauricio sent me a video today.
What do you do?
You were on the stream with the girl,
Wendy?
yes, Sanchez?
Ortiz,
my bad. Yes, and she didn't know what the belt was.
I
And
know.
you said,
Garcia says every camp teaches him something different, but he considers this preparation the strongest of his career. He compares boxing to music, explaining that the action has a natural cadence that can change without warning, moving from a slower tempo into a faster one. Garcia believes success comes from recognizing those shifts, keeping his emotions under control, and maintaining the right timing from the opening bell to the final moment.
Every training camp's gonna be different. I always say this is my best training camp because it always gets better. Like, this is the best training camp I've ever had. It's funner and exciting and thrilling because you're discovering new ideas, things you didn't see before, understanding that, oh wow, there's like a music to boxing. Boxing has its own sound and its own rhythm and its own pace, and it slows down and it picks up. It's like a composing, and then picks up, and then it could go. It just does its own things.
And believes that same level of self-control has become a major part of his own development. He says he has transformed his approach by preserving the strongest elements of his previous style while correcting the areas that once held him back. The aggression that defined his earlier performances remains, but he now channels it with patience, intelligent pressure, and emotional discipline instead of letting frustration dictate his actions.
Can you suppress that Benn DNA? Because you look at Chris.
I'm the new and improved Ben.
You V2.
I've sort
like
of,
a new Terminator.
I've sort of like taken the good, left the bad, and just mixed up my own little concoction.
But is there any bad in that? Because that's what makes you. That's what made the fight so good. What's made you so good is that electricity, that channeling that anger. Because you don't want to get rid of it. You want to channel it, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's anger. I would say it's calculated pressure. I would say it's calculated emotions. Yeah. I wouldn't say anger.
Asked whether he has changed the qualities that once defined him, Ben explains that he sees himself as a completely refreshed fighter. He says he kept the strongest elements of his previous approach, discarded the weaknesses, and combined everything into a style that feels more complete. The discussion then turns to whether changing those traits could take away from what made him effective in the first place. Ben acknowledges that the energy and intensity are still important, but he does not view his approach as being driven by uncontrolled anger. Instead, he describes it as deliberate pressure and carefully managed emotion. The aggression remains, but now he believes he can direct it with greater control and purpose.
Do you think it's going to be a struggle for him to get down to 147?
I mean, he seems like a pretty big guy. It's just the fact that he went to 160, and now he's going to shoot all the way down to 47. He did it once, I guess, with Regis 149. But those 2 pounds when you're cutting your weight is much more than you think. But I not overhear, but I seen an interview of his coach saying that he only has 6 weeks to lose the weight. So that may play a part. I mean, I want him at his strongest. I'm just saying what I think he's going to struggle with is making weight. Maybe he won't, maybe.
Ben feels that his development has turned him into a more complete and threatening fighter. Ryan Garcia has identified a different area that could influence the matchup. Garcia is focused on Ben making the 147-pound limit, believing the process of getting down to that weight may affect the fight. He notes that Ben has previously competed around 160 pounds and has also weighed in at 149, making the final drop to 147 potentially one of the toughest parts of his preparation.
They're big guys. You know, when you're in the ring with Eubank, he's a big guy. You know, sparring light heavyweights, they're big men. Do you know what I mean? So fighting Regis was like it was a run-out fight, 6 weeks notice, and if that's what you're going off of, Ryan, obviously you're going off of the Regis fight. Obviously you are, because you weren't calling my name after the Eubank fight.
Why would I call your name? You're 160.
No.
What would be the point of calling your name, though?
I said I was dropping back down.
I didn't know that.
You knew I was dropping back down.
No, I didn't. I just know that you're fighting at 160. There would be no reason.
The WBC mandated me for #1 position. I was supposed to fight Barrios.
So you won a 160 fight and then you got mandated at 47? That makes no sense.
Well, I don't know why you're talking to me, but that's what happened. That's why you're fighting me. It wasn't a choice. It wasn't a choice. It wasn't like you
Rejected Garcia's concerns about the weight and says making 147 pounds will not determine how he performs on fight night. He emphasizes that he has already competed against opponents who were considerably larger than him, giving him confidence that the welterweight limit will not prevent him from fighting at his best. Ben also clarifies that his return to the division was not something he arranged specifically to face Garcia. According to him, circumstances and official requirements led him back to welterweight, while his performances are what ultimately earned him the opportunity to compete in this matchup.
5 and below, I'm going to still finish the job and play around with him and beat the shit out of him, but it's not going to feel as good as me really knocking him out. I'm being serious, man. Like, I'm going to be vigorously disappointed in myself if I don't get him out, unless I break my pinky or some dumb. Then I'm like, all right, well, that's why, you know.
And then what?
Even then, why didn't I knock him out with one hand? You know, he's not that good.
You really don't think you're underestimating him, maybe?
Made it clear that he expects a decisive result when he faces Conor Benn. In his view, failing to secure a knockout would be a major disappointment, as he feels confident that he can end the contest before the 5th round is complete. At the same time, Garcia maintains that his confidence should not be mistaken for overlooking Benn's abilities. His objective is to deliver a commanding performance and demonstrate that the belief he has placed in himself is backed by what happens inside the ring.
I genuinely sit here, could not care less what state of mind he's in, whether he's in a good state, bad state. I'm not here to be his carer. I'm not here to look after him. I'm not here to put my hand around him and tell him everything's going to be okay. I'm here to beat him up come September 12th and take his belt. That's my job. And I do my job. You know, when I'm saying he quit, I would not take a knee and not get back up. You're going to have to render me unconscious and knock me out. That's me. That's good.
Confidence does not concern Conor Benn, who says his attention is locked entirely on defeating Garcia and capturing the WBC championship. Ben explains that he has no interest in how Garcia feels about the matchup ahead of September 12th. His mentality is centered on competing until the very end, because giving up is something he refuses to consider. Ben says that if Garcia truly intends to stop him, he will have to hurt him badly enough to completely take him out of the fight.
Yeah, I was like, I paid like $50 now. But
Muhammad Ali had it.
I know. I was trying to tell her the history of it. It's the most prestigious belt, in my opinion, in boxing. You know, it's the most recognizable. Muhammad Ali had it, Tyson had it, Floyd had it, and it's just recognizable. You see that belt, you know that's a world champion in boxing, and you can't deny that fact.
Garcia is fully aware of how important this opportunity is, but he sees the WBC championship as something much bigger than a financial reward or another trophy on his resume. He highlights the legacy attached to the famous green and gold title, pointing to legendary champions such as Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and Floyd Mayweather, who have all been associated with the belt. To Garcia, its unmistakable appearance and deep connection to boxing history give it a special status among the sport's most respected world titles.
It's a great fight, and my pick, I pick out a bit. I think that Ryan Garcia is a better boxer. But if they get into a fight, which it might happen, I will pick Conor Benn. Because Conor Benn is not skilled. He's not that skilled. But he's a raw.
Benn's determination to keep fighting could make this matchup especially challenging, but Regis Prograis still sees Ryan Garcia as the favorite. Prograis considers Garcia the more well-rounded fighter, particularly when it comes to technical ability and controlling the pace of a bout. He expects Benn's forward pressure to create plenty of action, yet his overall prediction remains in Garcia's favor.
Tremendous power and speed. If Conor is able to get in there and frustrate Ryan, then it's going to be a tough fight for Ryan. But I think Ryan's too fast and too explosive that sooner than later he will land that hard punch that could hurt Conor.
Yeah, probably that left hook. So, Champ,
Yes.
are you surprised that this fight actually happened? It came together because it looked like Oscar De La Hoya was not playing ball, but seemed like he was wearing his promotion.
Garcia believes Benn's attacking approach could actually give Ryan Garcia opportunities to capitalize. In his view, Benn must disrupt Ryan's timing and keep him from settling into a comfortable rhythm, because once Garcia starts finding his range, his quickness and punching power can change the entire fight with one clean shot. Robert especially points to Ryan's dangerous left hook as a weapon Benn cannot afford to overlook. He also gives Oscar De La Hoya credit for playing an important role in making this highly anticipated matchup happen.
Fight?
Yeah.
Conor Benn can fight. I don't think that it's going to be that easy. I think that Ryan can probably beat him, but not going to be easy. And I'm like tit for tat, like in that fight. Like I really think it's like an even fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Ryan's got a much deeper amateur background. He got the left hook and all that, but
Has Conor Benn quit?
no, he is not.
That's all you gotta think. Whenever you think about that, all you gotta think is that. Has Conor Benn quit?
Fernando Vargas believes Ryan Garcia possesses enough ability to defeat Conor Benn, but he expects the contest to be far more competitive than some predictions suggest. Vargas views the matchup as closely balanced, highlighting Garcia's background as an amateur and the threat posed by his powerful left hook. At the same time, he recognizes Benn's resilience and determination. Vargas believes Benn's unwillingness to back down could turn the fight into a difficult challenge for Garcia from start to finish.
At bell rung, he showed up.
Yeah.
So that version of Ryan Garcia knocks out Conor Benn because he'll keep him at the end. That quick twitch left hook. Conor Benn will be afraid to even attempt to lunge in like he did against Eubank Jr. And if you fall off balance lunging in with a fighter like Ryan Garcia, it's lights out with 2 punches.
I would have been really excited about this fight if Conor had knocked out Regis Prograis in the second round because it would have created the possibility of a really explosive fight. And maybe we still get that. Maybe Conor in his second fight down in these lower weight classes looks more explosive. Maybe he makes the weight better. Maybe he's more comfortable. Maybe we do get the fight that I thought it might have the potential to be. But right now, I'm with you. I would make Ryan Garcia a heavy favorite going to this fight, which I wouldn't have said 3 weeks ago. No way about it. I would have said that's a 50-50 fight or maybe even favorite.
Confrontation has now set everything in place for what could become one of the year's most exciting boxing matchups. Ryan Garcia comes into the contest relying on his speed, punching power, and strong belief in his abilities, while Conor Benn is preparing to answer with constant pressure, durability, and an unwavering competitive mindset. With the pre-fight discussions nearly finished, the anticipation has reached its highest point. Soon, the opening bell will replace all the predictions and promises with action, giving both fighters the chance to prove their words inside the ring. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep following us for more boxing coverage and updates.